Week 11 free NFL bets. My name is Eric. Yes, I'm bringing it to you live on YouTube again. I've missed you guys. I figured out how to, fix it all up and put it on YouTube. And I'm back. And yes, I'm in the closet this week. I'm in the closet filming and recording. Hopefully the sound quality is better. And also, I need to make sure my little baby sleeps well. So I'm in here tonight, keeping it nice and quiet for him. And while I'm helping giving you guys the nice free NFL bets this week, I've already started the week off hot with my 1.5 unit win on Thursday night football with the under 47 total points for the game. The game landed 25-0. It was a no sweat winner. Follow me at Twitter, on Twitter at free NFL bets with an S at the end, free NFL bets. That's where I place all of my bets as soon as I bet them. So guys, I have a new strategy going forward. I've done some research on all of my bets this year and also all of my just straight up picks, okay? So I'm 68% with my picks all year. It's like 101 and 47. That's my overall record for 2021. So that's a 68% winning percentage, picking the winner straight up. And that's actually what I'm at around that average for the last 4 years is around 68% picking the winner straight up. Now what I've realized is that of those winners, I'm 78 and 20 against the spread. So all the winners that I've chosen have covered the spread at essentially 80% of the time. So that's really important. And so I don't know if everybody knows that or not. So I did some research online, and I found out that since I think 2005, 1985, that's when the guy's data, since he's been tracking it, around 82 to 85% of all winners, straight up winners, cover the spread in the NFL. So essentially, that's what I'm trying to do now, is that I'm going to try to just, pick the winners for every game. And then the ones that I feel really strongly about covering the spread, I'm just going to lay it on the spread, minus 110, and just go from there. So no more crazy parlays. I mean, I'll still do the ones I feel really confident in, ones that make sense. I'll still add those in. But that's my new strategy going forward, guys. And I feel really great about it. I've, looked at my own numbers, looked at my results, looked at my past track record, and I feel really confident moving forward with this strategy. And just to dig deeper on that, and then I'll get into my free picks for week 11, guys. Thanks again for listening. The spreads that were 3.5, and this is this year so far. The spreads that were 3.5 or lower, so 3.5 and under, I am 41 and 28 on the year at 59%. Okay, that's against the spread, and that's great. I mean, guys, if you're doing over 55% picking games against the spread, you're going to be winning some money. You do anything 57% or more, you're going to be winning a lot of money. So 41 and 28 with spreads that are 3.5 and under. So, and then I went even more. Then I looked and I was open and honest with myself. What about the games that I felt really great about winning? I looked at all those spreads, and I'm 58 and 35. It's 62%. So, I mean, that's really good. That's really good. I mean, it's great. So this is my first week of doing the new strategy, and I feel great about it, guys. I mean, it's a lot of volume, so I'll have to fine-tune my skills of, the 1.5 unit, the 2 unit bets where I feel really great about the spread picks that I'm playing. But, for now on, I mean, I just like this. I like spreading it out, putting my money across almost all the games and, rolling with it from there. So without further ado, let's get into the week 11 free NFL bets. I'll save the player props for last. I have 4 player props so far that I absolutely love. One, I can't believe they even put the line out at that number. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's start with my one parlay of the week. This is my can't lose parlay. It's a 2-unit play. 2 units is usually my strongest. Sometimes I go to 3 units. 2 units is my strongest, more likely than not. The play is Tampa Bay money line, Cleveland money line, and the Carolina Washington total under 52.5 points. So, I mean, guys, I follow this guy on Twitter. I think it's John Hislop, Slop Rules or something, like at Slop Rules. Really funny, sarcastic Twitter guy. He basically says, I've done 1,000 mental simulations on this bet, and all of them come out clean. Like, this one's going to win. And it's really funny. But, I mean, I've done 1,000 mental simulations on this, guys. This one's not going to lose. I'm going to release it as 2 units, but I put 3 units on this play. And, I mean, if this is your first time listening, guys, I'm telling you, I've been burned on a couple of these this year, but I feel great about this one. So, what's his face name on Wager Talk? Ralph Michaels on Bet On It, right? He shares his trends and analysis, like really great data from, again, like the late 1980s all the way to the present day. Double-digit favorites cover the spread at 66% of the time when they lost the week before. Both Tampa Bay and Cleveland lost last week. This week, they are both double-digit favorites, and they cover the spread at 66% of the time. Might even be 69%. I think it's 66. Anyways, I just need them to win, guys. That's it. They're going to win. They're playing Detroit, and they're playing the Giants. Tampa's playing the Giants, and Cleveland's playing Detroit. I'm not worried about Cleveland. They have Nick Chubb back. They're at home. Detroit has the Thanksgiving game. Look ahead on Thursday. They're not going to be all in on this game, guys. Okay, Cleveland is all in this game. They're 5-5. They're a little bit disappointing in their record. They need to get it going if they want to make the playoffs. And they're a team that believes that they're going to make the playoffs. I mean, before the season started, that's their expectation. Their defense is playing really well. Their offense is played up and down. So now they're at home in a huge moment against a really bad team. I love them to win by 20. I love it. I love them to win by 20, control the game completely. And maybe I'm not sure on this, but I don't think Jared Goff's playing this week. He might be playing. I'm not sure. I think Boyle, the backup quarterback, might be playing. It doesn't matter. We might just want Goff to play, guys. He's not going to beat the Browns. Okay, the Browns are going to win this game. They're in a super competitive division. They have to win this game. If they don't win this game, it's a shocker. Okay, so I love that. The next is Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, you almost want New Orleans to win. If New Orleans wins, they have 6 wins. That means if Tampa Bay loses on Monday night, guess who is first place in the NFC South, friends? The New Orleans Saints. Isn't that crazy? Think about that for a second. And that's why this isn't happening. Okay, Tampa Bay is not losing to the Giants at home after 2 straight losses and a bye week. They haven't won in a month. Okay, guys, Tampa Bay is going to win this game. I don't care who's playing at wide receiver for Tampa Bay. I don't care how many cornerbacks are hurt. This is a moment where they will win. And if you know anything about bet teams coming off the bye weeks, it's not a profitable situation. It's not a profitable spot. Teams that come out of the bye week, they're sluggish out the gate. So maybe if you just want to even play it safe and play Tampa Bay first half against the spread, that would probably be a really good bet. I bet that's at like -6. That'd be a nice one. But with that said, I just need Tampa Bay to win. All right, so those two guys, those two are locks. Locks. All right, I mean, you don't even have to think about those. Cleveland to win, Tampa Bay to win. They both lost last week. They're in pretty much need-to-win mode right now, playing inferior opponents. They're going to win. Let's move to Carolina, Washington, under 52.5. Carolina, Washington. Guys, Carolina's defense is healthy. I don't think they've lost since they got Shaq Thompson back. I don't think they've lost. I don't think they've lost this year when Shaq Thompson has played, now that I think about it. I think he got hurt in the Dallas game. But, so that's the loss. But anyways, Carolina defense. Shaq Thompson, vocal leader, middle linebacker. Arguably the best player on that defense. He's been balling, straight up balling. Okay? They have a great pass rush. Their run defense is spotty, so that is a little bit of a concern. I will admit that. But they play aggressive, and I like them to stack the box because they have great cover corners right now. You know, Stephon Gilmore's playing. He's healthy. Dante Jackson, he's been playing well. And who knows? I don't know. J.C. Horn might even be playing nowadays. I don't even know. I have no idea. I would think he's healthy by now. I'm not sure. But it doesn't matter, okay? They got Jeremy Chin. They got Derek Brown. Guys, they got a solid squad on defense. I would be pretty darn shocked if Washington scores 20 points. Over 20, that would be... I mean, Washington would have to get a defensive touchdown. That's the only way that happens. In Carolina, against Washington's defense is playing really well right now. I know it's only 1 week, but still. I know Chase Young is hurt, and he's not coming back this year, but still. They have a very good defense, and the cornerbacks played well last week. They created some turnovers. I like them to play stout. And the biggest play on this game is this. Ron Rivera is going back to Carolina. So although Washington are the underdogs, they're going to be playing their hearts out for Coach Rivera this week. I know they are. They're like, dang, this guy coached here for a long time. You know, we need to play well for him. They're going to play very hard. They're not going to give up. They're not just going to let points walk into the end zone. So with that said, Carolina needs this game for playoff purposes. Washington, this is an emotional game for them in general. Yeah, Cam Newton's a quarterback too. I mean, it's not. These are not efficient offenses, and then couple that with one really good defense, and then Washington is playing better on defense right now, and I think they're trending to playing better on defense. And again, inferior offenses. So 52 and a half total points. It can, and that's kind of a key number too. So that's great. So we're getting 28 to 24. If that's the final score, the bet wins. Okay, both teams, stay under 30 points, stay under 28 points. It's gonna win. I'm not trying to be long on this bet, guys. Sorry, I know I'm kind of going long on this bet, but that's how confident I am in this play. You don't want to not play this. You want to play this bet. 3-leg parlay. It's minus 115 juice on MGM Sportsbook. Tampa Bay money line, Cleveland money line, Carolina, Washington under 52.5. I ran long on that. Let's keep it going. Next play is a 1.5 unit spread pick. Ravens -6. If you got, man, I placed this bet a little too early. I guess news was out that Lamar was a little sick and he wasn't going to be practicing the first 2 days of the week. He practiced today. It's not COVID related. I guess the bettors were scared because the line went all the way down from -6.5 to -4.5 in the middle of the week. I'm jealous. I wish I got -4.5. That would have been an absolute steal. Why? Because Lamar Jackson's going to play. He got COVID in September, okay? They're saying, the science is saying 90 days after you got the virus, you're not going to contract it, you're not going to show symptoms, you're basically, immunized in Aaron Rodgers' terminology, whatever, immunized. You're fine. So Lamar Jackson's going to play. I mean, guys, he doesn't have COVID. He's going to play. I have complete overreaction to the line. And now guess what? Akeem Hicks isn't playing. Khalil Mack isn't playing. He's out for the year. Allen Robinson, the wide receiver, isn't playing for the Bears. Okay, and then also the Bears are playing against the Lions on Thanksgiving. That is my theme this week. I am fading these teams that are playing on Thursday night or are on Thursday on Thanksgiving. I think it's a big moment for them. It's national TV. It's probably the most viewed football day besides the playoffs. It's the most viewed regular season day probably in the entire season every year. Thanksgiving. Everyone's at home. Everyone has the football on. I mean, guys, you got to believe they're thinking about that game already right now. And so the Ravens lost on Thursday night at Miami. They got embarrassed. Um, teams, there's some trend and angle that where teams that get lose like that is a 7-point favorite the next week, and they go on the road, or the next week they play and they're favorites again. They covered it at a pretty good clip. So, I just like the matchup in general. It makes sense. Ravens again. They're in a competitive division, guys. In competitive division, all three of the teams below the Ravens have a chance to win the division still. So with that said, Ravens are going to bring their A game. The Bears just have a lot of injuries, and they're just not as good as the Ravens. I like the Ravens to take care of business. I like them to win by more than 6 points. I like to win by 7 or more. And that's why it's a 1.5 unit play. In other terminology, that's a 4-unit play. 4% play. For those old school guys, I like to use percentage. I know the new school guys like to use units. 4% play, best bet. That's my best bet for the spread this week. The 1.5 units on the Ravens -6. Let's keep it moving. So I already talked about the other 1.5 unit play that cash, the Atlanta and New England under 47 points. Again, guys, follow me on Twitter. If you want the plays as soon as I release them, follow me on Twitter at Free NFL Bets, and we'll all make money together with the best line possible. Next play. I placed this today, and I think the line's going to get there eventually, but I just wanted to get to it because, I don't know, Saturday, because all the final injury reports come out, and people say, we know all the knowledge, we know all the information. Generally, there's no crazy COVID news that comes out, except last week when Ben Roethlisberger news broke. That really sucked, for me at least. I'm sure for a lot of other people too. But yeah, so generally Saturday, all the information comes out, you're fine. And that's why, Friday, I feel pretty good about this. Again, sticking with the theme, fading the teams that are playing on Thanksgiving. I got the Colts plus 7.5. I bought the half point. It only took it to -118 on the River Sportsbook. See what it's at right now. It's at plus 7, -105. So that's not bad at all. Guys, you just want to play plus 7, that's fine too. I don't know, I'm a little crazy. I know it's not good long term to be buying points, but this is a spot. I just did it. Took the plus 7.5, -118. Anything under -120, I'm feeling okay about, here and there. So let's just break the game down. The Bills have not beaten really anybody. Okay, the Bills have beaten the Chiefs. That's about it, right? They beat the Texans, they beat Washington, they beat the Jets, and they beat Miami, right? I don't think they beat the Texans. So the Bills haven't beaten anybody. And then they showed up flat against the Titans, right? They showed up flat against the Titans, especially on defense. Now, add in the Colts. Are the Colts really 7 points worse than the Bills? No, I'm not. No, they could lose. They could definitely lose by more than 7. They could. Any team could. But in the spot, the Colts don't have to play on Thursday night next week. The Bills have to go to New Orleans, the primetime last game of the night on Thanksgiving, and play in New Orleans. It's a big spot. It's a big spot for them. I know it's a meaningless game because it's a cross-conference opponent, and the Colts are, in a little bit of a playoff push and everything, but this game means more to the Colts than it does to the Bills. Believe that. The Bills feel pretty good about making the playoffs. The Colts need to really start winning. Okay, they're 5-5. They're tied with like 5 or 6 other teams at 5-5 in the AFC, and they're and 10th place in the AFC, and 7 teams get in the playoffs. So they need to win. This game means a lot to them. And I think they were plus 6.5 in the playoffs last year, and they covered that spread. Or they were plus 4, or plus 3, and 3.5, and they covered. I don't know. All I know is that they covered the game last year. And the Colts, talent-wise, I mean, they have just as many talented players as the Bills do, pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, they have a big edge at quarterback, but again, motivation factor. The Bills, I don't think they're looking to blow them out. I think they're looking just to win, get out of there. Colts are going to fight. They're going to scrap. Again, remember this. They lost to them in the playoffs last year. Pretty much everybody on that team is still there for the Colts, except for obviously Carson Wentz wasn't there. But Frank Reich also used to be quarterback for the Bills, right? So there's a lot of connections. Again, I like taking teams now that I've looked at it and kind of looked at my numbers this year. I want to take the teams that are more desperate in that particular game situation. I want the more desperate team. The more desperate team is definitely the Indianapolis Colts. 100%. And then we're getting 7.5 points with them. I love that bet, guys. I really do. I think that one cashes. Love that one a lot. Okay, next play. It is the San Francisco 49ers minus 5.5. I bet this in the middle of the Monday Night Football game when the 49ers are taking care of business against the Rams. And I looked at the schedule and I looked at the standings. And the 49ers have an easy schedule left. And I knew that going into the season. I knew they had an easy schedule because I picked them to win at least 10 games. And I think they only have 4 wins right now. But they could very well win 6 more games this year. They could easily do that with the schedule that they have left. And, it starts in Jacksonville. They have a legitimate path to the playoffs. This is a team with a lot of pride. This is a team that's won 66% of their games with Jimmy Garoppolo starting at quarterback and Kyle Shanahan at head coach. And the defense is playing better. Now, they played a near-perfect game last week, and Jacksonville has shown that they can, play well in spots. But I like the 49ers to take care of business and to start this run. They started it on Monday night. They won their first home game in over a year. Now they go on the road. I know it's a 1 o'clock game, West Coast going to East Coast, but they already beat Philadelphia this year, West Coast to East Coast. I don't think it's that big of a situation. I like the 49ers to win by 6 or more. I love that play. Really love that bet. I would almost put the Colts and the 49ers at 1.5 units, but I mean, guys, honestly, all these bets that I'm talking about, I really, really like a lot. And I'm not just saying that because my strategy is I'm going to bet all the plus 3.5 and under bets. But, all these bets I really love, guys. I think this is going to be a really nice, profitable week. Yeah, I love it a lot. So, we'll just move on. 49ers over the Jags. That's going to be pretty chalky. I bet a lot of people pick the 49ers. But I think it cashes. I really do. Next play. 1 unit, Browns, minus 10. This was minus 110 to FanDuel. Last bet was minus 110 on MGM. All the lines are minus 110 pretty much, guys, except for my last 2 plays. The Browns, they were minus 9.5, and I kind of wish I got the minus 9.5 because, I don't know, 10's it's a fairly common number to land on, 30 to 20. You know where I'm going. Anyways, the Browns. I don't think it matters. I think that they win by 20. I feel really confident in this play. And again, I've already spoken about this on my 2-unit teaser, so we won't go into it any more than that. Browns to win by more than 10, lock that in. I think it's minus 12. I'd still play it. I'd play it up to minus 13.5. Vikings money line is my next play. This is a 1-unit play. Vikings are getting healthy. They didn't have Harrison Smith last week. Not that they needed him in their win, but they get him back. and they get Patrick Peterson back this week as well. And then for Green Bay, they don't have Aaron Jones, and I don't know, guys. For some, I forget. Look, Green Bay plays the Rams next week, so it's a little bit of a spot where they might be thinking of the Rams, because that's a big meaningful game that determines home field advantage for the NFC. So that's a big game. So they're looking at that. It's kind of in the back of their minds. They're thinking the Rams at home next week. That's a big spot for the Packers. Sticking with my theme of the more desperate team, and that's in a good spot, and that it makes sense, I'm picking them. And in addition to that, any spread that's 2.5 or under, I'm just going to take the money line straight up. +3, I'm debating if I'm just going to take the money line straight up, because I still think those +3 teams that are underdogs that I think are going to win. I think are going to cover. I think they're just going to win, and I know it's more profitable long term just to take the money line. Just take the money line and roll with it from there, and it'll be profitable, very profitable, more profitable than taking the -110 at +2.5, +3. So yeah, Vikings money line. I like it. They always beat Green Bay once a year usually. They always give them a good fight. Green Bay can't stop the run. Vikings run the ball really well. Kirk Cousins isn't in prime time, so he should play fine. And yeah, I feel good about that one, guys. And trust me, I have I have 2 futures on the Packers. They're a win total over 10.5, and I have a Super Bowl 13-1 odds on them to win the Super Bowl. So trust me, I like the Packers. It's hard for me to bet against the Packers. I don't like doing this, but this spot makes sense for the Vikings. They need this win. They have a legitimate path to the playoffs. Okay, if they win this game, they're in a very good spot, a lot better spot. If they lose this game, man, their season's kind of over. Honestly, season's over. Especially if San Fran wins and the Eagles win, and Carolina wins and New Orleans win. Man, that's a pretty rough spot for the Vikings. So they have to win this game, guys. And I think the spot makes sense. So, yeah, go Vikes. Next play, 1 unit, Chiefs, -2.5 at MGM Sportsbook, -110. The news came out, Amari Cooper's not playing this game. Not that a wide receiver really influences my opinion on the games, all that much. But still, again, fading the teams that have to play on Thanksgiving. Dallas plays their annual Thanksgiving Day game next Thursday on Thanksgiving. Everybody knows that. And the Chiefs don't. The Chiefs have a bye next week. So add that into the equation. Teams that have byes play very well and cover the spread at a very good rate. So Chiefs at home, favorites, and they have a bye week next week. Those teams generally cover at about 58-60%, somewhere around there. Again, that's a Wager Talk trends and analysis by Ralph Michaels. And yeah, so keep it simple. I like the Chiefs, man. They got their mojo back. You saw Travis Kelce's like, I got my swagger back, all that stuff. Chiefs at home, defense is healthy. I actually think they have the better defense than the Cowboys. And they had the better offense, in my opinion, too. I know, even with their kind of up and down season, I would still take Patty Mahomes over Dak Prescott. I would take Tyreek Hill over CeeDee Lamb and Travis Kelce over Amari Cooper. The running back spot, I'm not taking anybody over Zeke in that situation, but I like Clyde Edwards. He's coming back off the IR this week, and Darrell Williams has filled in nicely for him. So, yeah, guys, Chiefs at home, again, they're the more desperate team, guys. I love these spots. I really, really love these spots. Teams that are more desperate win. It's a fact. You can't really quantify it. I'm sure you could, but guys, I just know this. I played football. I played college football, Division I football. I played with NFL players on my team that got drafted. I'm telling you this. when you're the more desperate and hungry team, you usually win the game. The Chiefs are in a logjam in the AFC West division. They have to keep winning to win that division. The Chargers are right there. The Raiders are right there. And even the Broncos at 5-5 when Teddy Bridgewater decided not to tackle Darius Slay on the fumble recovery last week. I mean, gosh, that was painful, guys. I had Denver in that game. Sorry, gosh, I'm having so annoying, Teddy Bridgewater. My goodness, son. Stick your leg out, trip him, get a penalty, do something. It's awful. It's embarrassing. Okay, I digress. The Chiefs, -2.5. They're the more desperate team. Cowboys thinking about their annual game on Thanksgiving. Lock in the Chiefs. Next play. 1 unit, Panthers, -3. And sorry, guys, I have about 3 plays left on my spread plays, and then I will get to the player props. So about 7 more picks left. If you've listened this far, guys, thank you for the support. Please share with a friend or your family because, guys, I'm telling you, I've dug deep on my numbers in the past 4 years, and I've coupled that with extensive research this week. I mean, guys, I really studied myself the whole season, just my whole numbers, all my bets, and just trends and everything on Monday, all day pretty much. And I found some amazing, profitable, winning percentages. So let's make money together, guys. Let's do it. All right, let's get back to the picks. 1 unit, Carolina Panthers -3. So this is -114 on FanDuel. I had to get the -3 because a lot of these places have -3.5. And, worst case scenario, well, not worst case, but, worst likely case is that the Panthers only win by a field goal. It's a low scoring total. Points are at a premium, as they say. And, the Panthers could just win by 3. So you don't want to get hooked in this one. I think there is value in taking the Panthers at -3 and buying the half point there. I do. I just think the Panthers are the better team. I think that there's a lot of energy with Cam coming back. Again, they're in a better playoff situation than Washington is. And they have a better defense than Washington does. And the offenses are kind of neutral, but at the same time, Washington has less talent on offense than, the Panthers. I mean, Christian McCaffrey's better than Gibson. You can argue DJ Moore is better than McLaurin. And that's all you got to say right there. So skill positions, you got to give the edge to Carolina. And then Cam Newton, he's not as good a passer as Taylor Heineke, but you could say just a better overall football player probably. I don't know at this stage in his career, but Cam has potential in him. So, and then add in the home field factor with Carolina. I like it. It's a small lean. It's not one of my more confident plays, but I like the Panthers to win. And in doing so, I like them to win by more than 3 or 3 at worst. So Panthers -3. I like that play a lot. Next play, the Dolphins -3. So this was I was going back and forth in this one, and I really thought, maybe the Jets have a chance in this one, at least to cover. But sticking with my theme of teams that I think are going to win, those teams cover it around 80% of the time. So I do like the Dolphins to win. Again, going with more desperate team. The Dolphins are more desperate than the Jets. The Jets know that their season's done. They have really no shot. They're starting Joe Flacco at quarterback. I mean, my goodness, that's awful. It's just really bad. So the Fish play the Jets twice, I think, and they play the Giants, and I think they play another really bad team. Bottom line is that the Dolphins actually have 4 or 5 winnable games in a row. That it wouldn't be shocking at all if they win all 4 of those games. And if they win all 4 of those games, they're smack dab in the middle of the 7th wild card spot, fighting for a chance at the playoffs. It's crazy to think like that, but you have to think that team actually believes that they still have a chance. They just beat the Ravens. So you have to think that they really believe that they can win, any game. Okay, you had to think that that's what they believe. Now they obviously have the better defense. All right, they have the better defense, and they have the better quarterback. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying that. I mean, I don't really love Tua, but Tua's better than Flacco. And it's a road game, but what's his face? Brian Flores, the head coach for the Dolphins. He's from New York City. All right, and he's a tough-minded coach. They have a tough-minded team. They're going to be ready to play. And then if there's a trend and angle that you like, that's been data proven since 2010, home dogs after week 8 in the NFL season of 3.5 or more are a bet against. Okay, so that means if you're a home dog like the Jets are of 3.5 and under, 3.5 and under, you only win and cover this. You only cover the spread 37% of the time. So home dogs after week 8 plus 3.5 and under only cover the spread at 37% of the time. All right. So that means the Dolphins have a 63% chance, based off of the stats, that they're going to cover and most likely just win. So I love that angle. I feel more better about this play the more I think about it. I was kind of leaning the Jets, but again, the more desperate team and the more hungry team, the Dolphins, I don't think they take the Jets lightly. I really don't. So yeah, that's the last spread play that I have officially posted on my Twitter. And let's see. The next play is the Dolphins and the Jets under 45 points. Looking back, I don't love this play. I'm not going to, hedge it or anything. I'm not going to take less off and bet the over, but I don't know. It's kind of a squirrely game, but I do like the fact that Rex Ryan called out Robert Saleh, and Robert Saleh and his brother fired back at Rex Ryan and said, you know what, be quiet. We know what we're doing. We'll handle the defense from here. Because Rex Ryan kind of blasted Robert Saleh like, hey, you don't know what you're doing because you've given up, 45 points or something 3 out of the last 4 weeks. And I like the Jets defense. The players actually started speaking out. C.J. Mosley was upset. Somebody else was upset, I think, on the defensive line for the Jets. And so I like the Jets to give a really good effort. And they're not playing a very good offense, okay? The Dolphins have a very awful offense. They're bad, all right? And Tua doesn't like to turn the ball over. So I don't think the Dolphins are going to score a lot of points. I don't. And then I sure as heck don't think the Jets are going to score a lot of points. Actually, guys, I take that back. I feel really good about this play. The more I'm talking about it and the more I'm thinking about it, I love this play. Flacco doesn't like to turn the ball over. Okay, he does here and there, but again, he's not efficient. He doesn't score a lot of points, guys. I mean, I'll be shocked if either team gets to 23 points. So that means the other team, gets to 23-20. That's 43 points. No, I love this play a lot, guys. And then also, trend and angle. More times than not, unders hit more often in November and December than they do in September and October. I don't have the exact percentage on that, but the unders hit more likely than not in November and December. All right. So with that said, New York Jets, Miami total under 45. I like it. I kind of spoke about this earlier. This is a 1-unit teaser I did already. This is the last play that I have so far. The Patriots money line and Ravens money line. This was minus 108 when I placed the bet on Monday. Already spoke about both those teams. Love that a lot. And the Patriots already won. So we just need the Ravens to win and that teaser cashes. So I love that play. Now let's go over the last spread plays that I'm probably going to play this week that I haven't touched on, because I'm playing every spread of minus 3.5 or plus 3.5 and under, because I'm 59% on the year on those. So I'm just going to play all of them. Just, why not? Just play them all. I'm winning at a high percentage of them. So let's see who I haven't touched. New Orleans, Philadelphia. I love this. There's a +3 Caesar Sportsbook for the Saints. Again, I know I'm fading teams that play on Thursday night, Thanksgiving, but I think New Orleans gets up for this game for a lot of different reasons. One, because they have a playoff spot. They're the 6th seed in the playoff right now in the NFC, and they're playing an NFC opponent this week. So for playoff purposes, this is a big game for the Saints. So let's start there. That's number one, because on Thursday night, they're playing an AFC team in the Buffalo Bills. If they lose to the Bills, that doesn't really matter that much for the playoffs. There's no tiebreaker implications that are going to hurt the Saints if they lose to the Bills on Thursday night. There will be a lot of playoff implications if they lose to the Eagles this Sunday. All right, so the Saints need to beat the Eagles for the playoff implications. So let's start there. The next point, New Orleans went to Philadelphia last year after they were on like a nice 2 or 3 game winning streak. And the Saints lost. They got kind of embarrassed, and they were kind of big favorites in that game. I think they were -6-point favorites last year. And the Eagles beat them outright, kind of embarrassed them. So there's that kind of factor. I'm not going to say revenge is there, but there's some added motivation there. Same venue, kind of same time of the year as last year. And, hey, let's go in there and get a win. So, and then lastly, they're kind of close in the standings. So it's, you want the tiebreaker over this team in general. So yeah, that's kind of, I think Philly's kind of phony too. I think motivation for both teams is really high up there. So I think you're going to get a really good game. As far as the total, 42.5, it seems maybe a touch low actually. I could see this game being 23-20. And sneaking over that total number. But, yeah, I lean New Orleans. I don't feel confident in this one, guys, so I might just release this as a half-unit play. But, again, I'm 59% on all these, 3 plus 3.5 and under play, so I might as well just put a unit on it and, ride with it. Houston, Tennessee, I'm not going to touch. I think Houston, if I had to play it, I actually think Houston's going to cover that at +10. Tennessee plays New England next week at New England. Mike Vrabel, head coach for the Titans, played under Bill Belichick. So he's thinking about that. I mean, Houston's only won 1 game this year. They're not taking Houston serious. Or if they're trying to build it up as like, hey, we're not taking Houston lightly. I don't know. In their hearts, I don't think so. So, yeah, I'm not going to touch that game. I'm saying the way the NFL's gone this year, I wouldn't even be surprised if Houston won it. That's why I didn't even put Tennessee in a teaser. I love -10-point favorites and just teasing them down to the money line. I love doing that. But, I'm telling you, I just got weird feelings about that game, guys. I do. I'm not touching that one. All right. The Cincy Las Vegas game. Man, this is such a good game. This is probably the best game of the entire weekend. I keep going back and forth on this game, guys. I really do. Really do. Again, fading the teams that play on Thanksgiving. The Raiders play at Dallas on Thanksgiving. But again, it's kind of the same spot as the Saints, right? Las Vegas and Cincinnati have the same record, or pretty much the same record. This is a huge playoff game. Not playoff game, but like playoff implications. And divisional purposes too, for that matter. Both these teams have a chance to win the division if they win this game. They're in a really good spot. So I think Las Vegas is all in on this game. And they got in, both, man, guys, this game is really, really interesting. I think this is the best one of the week. And to have it at the 4 o'clock game, and there's only 3 4 o'clock games, oh man, this is, I know there's going to be a lot of people wanting to watch Kansas City, Dallas, rightfully so. But I think Cincinnati, Las Vegas is the game to watch at the 4 o'clock this week. And, man, Both teams got embarrassed their last game. Cincinnati got embarrassed at home against Cleveland. Las Vegas got embarrassed at home against Kansas City. Both teams need to win for their divisions and to stay competitive in the playoff race. Right now it's -1 Cincinnati. I lean Las Vegas. And I say that because they have a lot of veteran presence on their team. They have a lot of veteran players that have played in playoff games, that have played in the Super Bowl before. Okay? I know there's a lot of stuff going around Las Vegas, right? I mean, there's a ton of stuff going around. I mean, the Henry Ruggs situation, you got the Arnett situation, the cornerback that got cut, and then they lost their head coach, John Gruden. Everybody knows all these stories pretty much, right? It's a lot of stuff happening. I think the loss on Sunday night, I think will center them. I think they will be centered. And I think they've kind of been hit with everything that they could possibly be hit with. Their head coach in the news with drama, their first round draft pick of wide receiver, Henry Ruggs, and their first round draft pick, Damon Arnett. And then they get embarrassed on primetime football. I mean, they've been hit with everything, right? So either they're just going to come out super, super flat and confused and in a daze, like they don't know who they are, or they come out knowing that they've had hey, they got nothing else to lose. They have all the reasons in the world to basically fold their tents and just pack it in and call it a season, right? They have every reason to do that. But with the leadership on this team and the veteran presence and the players that have played in the playoffs mixed in with a lot of super young talented players, and they're at home, backs against the wall, I like Vegas. And guys, it's hard for me to do this because I love Joe Burrow. And I'm a Steelers fan, by the way, okay? And I really, I'm kind of torn because I like Joe Burrow. I want him to do well, but at the same time, I'm a Steelers fan. Every time, I want my opponent, divisional opponents, and I really don't care about them. I want them all to lose. Cincinnati, Cleveland, and the Ravens. But with that said, in this spot, Joe Burrow's really in his second season. I mean, you could actually call it still his first season. I mean, he only played 8 games last year. He's kind of still in his rookie season still, finishing it up technically if you want to be, ultra technical. I like Las Vegas in this spot, guys. I do. Cincinnati's more talented on offense, I think. And I think they're a little bit more better coached on defense, and the talent on defense is kind of the same, but they might be a little better. I don't know. All I know is that my gut is telling me Las Vegas. I'll be betting Las Vegas. I'm just waiting to see if I can get better odds on the money line. That's it. That's all I'm waiting for. But I will be betting Las Vegas 1 unit. The next game, Arizona Seattle. This is actually I got 2 games left. Arizona, Seattle. So Arizona is minus. Wow, the line's dropped just since I've seen it last. It's at -1.5 at most places, -2 some other places. So I don't know if they know something that we don't know. Maybe Kyler Murray's not playing anymore. Bottom line is I'm going to be betting Seattle. I'm betting the home team, the more desperate team. Again, that's my theme this week. That's my theme the rest of the way going forward. I think more, and I'm not saying all desperate teams are going to win, but I'm going to take my chances. I'm going to say the desperate teams more often than not going forward, they're going to win. They're going to cover the spread. And I like Seattle. I hope Kyler does play so the line gets up to 3, and I'll take +3 or Seattle, or I'll just bet them on the money line. But I like Seattle to win, guys. I like them to win somehow, some way at home against Arizona. And I know Arizona, I think, has the bye next week, and that's kind of an interesting spot. But Seattle at home, backs against the wall. They have a shot still. They have a shot to make the playoffs, believe it or not. They're not officially out yet. I like them with their backs against the wall. I like Seattle there. Okay, last game I haven't spoken about are my Pittsburgh Steelers at the Los Angeles Chargers. If Big Ben plays, I will be taking the Steelers plus 6.5 most likely. Or I'll tease them up. Or I just won't touch the game in general because this game I don't like if Big Ben plays. If Mason Rudolph ends up playing for the Steelers, I will be taking the Chargers in a two-team teaser with the San Francisco 49ers. I will tease the 49ers down along with the Chargers at money line value. And that's it. Minka Fitzpatrick isn't playing, TJ Watt isn't playing, Joe Hayden isn't playing, and potentially Ben Roethlisberger isn't playing. But just alone, that defense is going to give up points. All right, that defense is going to give up points, and Mason Rudolph can't be trusted at all. So let's just keep that simple as that. Let me see. I'm at 15 minutes, guys. Let's finish up the player props, and then I'm done. So let's do it. So I got 4 player props right now, and 3 out of the 4 are in the Vegas-Cincinnati game because I love this game, guys. I think it's going to be high scoring, and I think a lot of people are going to get involved. So just straight off the bat, I normally don't do this, but I took the passing yards for Derek Carr over 285.5. And I made it a 4% play, 1.5 units. He's gone over this number more times than not this year. I don't know the exact stats. I think it's 6 out of 9 or something like that. 5 out of 9, something around that. But he's been playing well. And Cincinnati has a pretty good run defense. So I like a shootout. I like both sides scoring points. I think both are going to be efficient. And yeah, I like it, guys. I think the game script works out fine. I think Derek Carr, he kind of has his wide receiver room a little more stabilized with Deshaun Jackson in for another, his second week in the offense, and Bryan Edwards, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, Zay Jones. He's got weapons. And Cincinnati has Eli Apple at cornerback. And I don't know if Trey Waynes is playing. I don't even know. But anyways, Derek Carr is playing well. They're at home. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball that well. I think they're going to have to be able to throw the ball in general. I think it's high scoring. I think it's a shootout. All favors Derek Carr going over his 285.5 passing yards. I like that play a lot, guys. Next play, 1.5 units. This is, guys, if you heard in the beginning, this is the play that I love a lot out of all my player props. Actually, the other one I love a lot too, but that line I don't think is going to come back on anymore. But I'll touch that later. Joe Mixon over 16.5 receiving yards. This is my 1.5 unit play. It's minus 110 at Caesar Sportsbook. Guys, 3 out of the last 4 games, he's had over 40 yards receiving. And the one game where he didn't was against the Ravens, and they didn't need to throw the ball anymore because Jamar Chase went crazy. And so they were just winning big, so they just started handing the ball off. They didn't need to throw to Joe Mixon. They're going to have to throw to Joe Mixon this week. They're going to have to throw to Joe Mixon this week because it's going to be a shootout. I mean, guys, it's going to be a shootout. There's going to be points. Both teams need to win this game. They're not going to lay down. They're going to fight to the end. And even if Cincinnati's down 3 scores in the third quarter, they will be throwing the ball out of shotgun, and Joe Mixon will be getting his fair share of receptions. I think he's gotten over 4 receptions, too, out of the last 3 out of the last 4 games. Now, the first 6 weeks of the season, he wasn't involved in the pass game that much, and I think that's why this number's at 16.5 right now. But I think the offense is opening up more. I think they're finding their groove. I think they realize that they need to go through Joe Burrow. And going through Joe Burrow means that these wide receivers are going to get busy for Cincinnati. I like Joe Mixon over 16.5 receiving yards. Next play, 1 unit. This is chalky. Jamar Chase over 75.5 receiving yards. I think he has a big day, man. I really do. He's the best rookie wide receiver. He's one of the best wide receivers already in the NFL. Kid's special. He's going to have a day. He has insane chemistry with Joe Burrow. I mean, gosh, if you want to take Joe Burrow over passing yards too, can't blame you on that. It's just I'm kind of a little nervous because Las Vegas isn't the best at stopping the run, so maybe they have some success there and they control the game. That's my only problem there. That's why I took Derek Carr over his passing numbers, because Cincinnati can stop the run pretty well. Anyways, yeah, well, I'll keep it brief with Jamar Chase, over 75.5 receiving yards. That's straightforward. Last play of the week. This was a steal, guys. This was an absolute steal. If this comes back up on the board at 15.5 or lower than that, you got to take that. I got it at over 5.5. It's Deebo Samuel over 5.5 rushing yards. I got this before the Elijah Mitchell news that he's doubtful to play this week. And yeah, I played that this morning. It's minus 120 on MGM. And I thought about making this a 2-unit play. I really did. But I just got a little scared because Deebo's been kind of inconsistent in his rushing attempts this year. But after Monday Night Football, I mean, Kyle Shanahan's not a dummy. He's not dumb. He's very smart. He saw the success Deebo Samuel was having around the ball. It warrants at least 5 carries a week, at least 3 at worst. Okay, now Jacksonville has a pretty good rush defense, but still, if Deebo gets 3 carries, he's going to get 6 rushing yards at worst. I mean, guys, I think he's going to go over 10 rushing yards. Again, if it comes back up on the board, I want to play it over 15.5 just because, you know, they might just give the ball to Jeff Wilson a lot. But I still like Deebo to get 3 rushing attempts. And I'm sitting on gold on that one, guys. I really think that's a winner. Over 5.5 rushing yards for Deebo Samuel, that's stealing. So, again, follow me on Twitter, guys. Free NFL bets. That's all I have for the week. But again, on Twitter, I will release all the rest of my plays. Again, I'm probably going to play Seattle, Las Vegas, and who's the other one? Seattle, Las Vegas, and New Orleans. That's probably who I'm going to play, most likely. But again, for the official release, follow me on Twitter, and you'll find out if that's who I play or not. And that's pretty much all I got, guys. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Thanks for listening on the podcast. Share it. Follow me on Twitter. All that stuff. Thanks for the love. I'm out. I'll see you next week on the podcast and whatever platform you're listening to. Thanks, guys.